Hey! Oh my god, it's been forever, hasn't it? I know. And I'm looking kind of raggedy now. Either you guys are getting some gel or something. Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna start off with a wrestling review. What's going on? Basically, what's happened in Raw and SmackDown and everything. Have tried to follow ROH. But it's really hard because it's just like me being a WWE fan, and me being a WCW like a fan. I can kind of respect what ROH is doing. It's kind of like what WCW used to be before they got all the glam and glitz. Before they started getting the bigger names. But it's hard. In today's wrestling, it's like Impact is kind of like ROH, like back in the beginning. But no, not even that, because ROH is basically like if you would take like Jack Swagger, not even that. I can't even explain it. Like if you would have two people that are you know, who, if you put them in the ring, they're not going to stop in the middle of the match, say anything, or they're not going to do anything like that. They're just going to wrestle. They're just going to go out there and wrestle. So I can't really give any good examples. All I know is Shelton Benjamin is a really great wrestler. I will admit he is an awesome wrestler, but he does look really weird now. I just want to point that out. But he's an awesome wrestler, and all Roderick Strong and everything, amazing athletes. But when it comes down to it, it's just really, really boring to sit there and watch these guys just wrestle, and that's it. Like they don't, prance around. They don't do hardly anything. I mean, what I've seen, maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, what I have seen is they don't really prance around. They don't really do any like stop and yell at the crowd or much any that I see. Basically it's just wrestling. That's it. There's nothing else. They do a few promos, but the ROH the shows I've seen on TV so far is basically like one or two matches and that's it. It's like if you're gonna show us ROH fans that are fans of WWE, you're gonna have to not show us the matches like that. Leave that for pay per view or leave that thing. I mean they turned around and showed us like what was it like an hour long match, and they basically showed the whole entire thing on ROH TV one week, and I tried to watch it, and I was like, I'm sorry, tag team wrestling has died in WWE. So the WWE fans and hell, even the TNA fans cannot sit there and watch a match for an hour. Any mainstream fan cannot sit there and watch wrestling for an hour, and even a wrestling aficionado is gonna have trouble watching that long of a tag team match. I mean, seriously, I cannot sit there and watch a 40-minute match. It would be rough to watch an Iron Man match with two guys you basically don't really know. So I knew Shelton Benjamin, and I know I don't know I know Charlie Haas, but I didn't know anybody else in the whole entire ring. So it's like, and they weren't even in the ring pretty much when I was wrestling. I saw Shelton Benjamin get in the ring a little bit, but you didn't see anybody else. So it was kind of like they didn't give you anybody. Like if somebody was casually, watching, going by, they didn't give anything to the mainstream fan who would want to check out ROH to even want to see. Because if they were going to do that, they need to put Jay Lethal more on the program. They need to put Shelton and Charlie Haas on the program more, or they need to make shorter matches. Because I mean, I'm trying to check them out, but good lord, man, make the matches a little bit shorter, just a little bit. I mean, damn, dude. It's like I'm sitting there and I'm trying to watch, and I will admit, Roderick Strong and I can't say who he faced. I know I talked about it before, but I mean, it was amazing. Not Kevin Steen, um, Elgin was on there, and I mean, he's amazing for a big guy. He's awesome. I seen him. I think he was in that tag match too. So he was good that he was in there, but he didn't even wrestle that much. The part that I seen until I got tired of watching it, and I just basically deleted the whole entire program because I knew that was what it was going to be. So yeah, I mean, I'm not done. There's like 5 recorded back there from like past weeks or whatever. But if anybody can tell me a week that they had a decent showing on TV, I will definitely go check that out. but I'm not in a hurry really to watch them too much. And I think I got them on a 5 limit, so I won't record any new ones. Um, but I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of ROH so far. I'm trying. I love wrestling to death. I can sit there and watch wrestling, but sometimes I'm not really ever in the mood to watch that kind of wrestling. But it's got to have something to it. It's got to have a story. It's got to have not just a storyline, but I mean it's got to have it can't just be people just jumping around. And I'm not just saying that because all these wrestlers have said that. Like Ric Flair or whatever. Somebody. But it's like it can't just be that. They have to tell a story. They have to be in the ring. They got to interact with the crowd. They got to interact with the other wrestler. Screaming and saying "What the hell" or something like that. Things that have to happen. All right, getting on ROH. TNA. Oh my God. All right, I've caught a little bit. I actually have watched the past. I want to say 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks ago I watched a little bit of it. I didn't make it all the way through because I knew what the main event was going to be, and I thought it was stupid, so I didn't watch it. 2 weeks ago, watched all the way through it. It's okay. This week, Wembley Arena. Holy shit. This is why TNA needs to go to a bigger venues and get out of this little rinky-dink thing. It shows you that TNA can get over, and and this is the thing about what I want to talk about is that TNA is so amazing. They have all this talent, but yet they don't know what our fans, what their fans want. And if they do, then they need to start listening because in that crowd, they were telling TNA what to do. Push Samoa Joe and Magnus as a face tag team. Push Crimson and Morgan as a bad guy tag team. And then later possibly break, Crimson off as a face. Austin Aries, make him a face, turn somebody else heel to feud with him in the X Division. I mean, you really don't have to change Austin Aries. It's just like his character is badass. You can't boo that. I mean, seriously, it's just like an Austin. And I've heard, Off the Rep Show refer to, that as he is, kind of like the Stone Cold Steve Austin of today. So in TNA, what? There's not going to be another Steve Austin, but anyway. And on the TNA subject, I'll probably do a whole other thing on TNA, but James Storm is starting to. At first, I'm like, Bobby Roode better get the belt. James Storm sucks. That's what I said. But now, as I start to watch more and more James Storm, he actually not that bad. He's actually about the same as Bobby Roode, probably better, to be honest. And he's not like the super grappler or anything like that, but he kind of reminds me of a taller HBK, like where he probably could be that guy who people were going, man, I wish James Storm would come back, And so I could see him in WWE someday, if he makes that far, or TNA doesn't get bigger, and I can see him overshadowing TNA and wanting to get out. So, hopefully we'll see that someday. I mean, I know all these guys don't want to stay in TNA forever. If they do, then I hope TNA, works out great, starts moving people around and shit like that. But there's some of these guys, they're way too big. They got too many big stars right now, and they've got to let some of them go. I don't think James Storm should leave. I think so many other people should leave before James Storm does, because I think he could actually help build the company. Really build the company. I think him and Bobby Roode could actually. And it'll be the funny thing is of all these tag teams that were around a long time ago, and we're talking about like Triple X. I think that's what their name was. Yeah, like Triple X. AJ Styles, guys that's been around a long time, finally get the recognition they deserve. And Eric or Vince Russo, whoever's running the Dixie card or whatever, gets their head up their asses and starts to realize that. But anyway, 10 minutes and I haven't talked anything about WWE. I lost 2 weeks. I didn't get to talk about it last week. A lot of things happened. I don't really remember what all happened last week on Raw. The big thing everybody wants to talk about is, Chris Jericho, code breaking CM Punk. I kind of didn't see it coming because everybody kept talking about it. I was like, well, I don't know. WWE nowadays, they're not doing anything we want to do. So, but they're having rumors that him and Punk was going to start a program. It started last week. And then we saw The Undertaker return, which we knew was coming because WrestleMania's coming around. He's a WrestleMania god, so to speak. Not to he's a WrestleMania god. He comes back around WrestleMania every year. Taker's going to be there. And it's gonna be sad when Undertaker doesn't come back to WrestleMania because you're gonna be like, oh, it's done. So, you know, and when he goes away, the next year probably after if he doesn't wrestle, then they'll probably induct him in the Hall of Fame because you gotta have the Taker there. And once he's not there, you'll know he's officially done with wrestling. So, yeah, it'd be cool. But basically, that's the whole thing. That's the whole storyline. John Laurinaitis getting fired, blah blah blah. That's another storyline. And then Daniel Bryan's continued rise in the WWE. Randy Orton's return. A lot of things going on. Let's basically get the ball rolling on this week's Raw, and it started out really good, and you always know it's gonna be a good show. Whether you hate him or whether you like him, Triple H starts the show, and for me, you're like, ah, oh, the good old days. Triple H comes to the ring, shoots off a tremendous promo about the Undertaker and John Laurinaitis, and oh boy, it's just remember the good old days when Triple H used to come down and do a promo, and Bret Hart, Stone Cold used to start off the show with the program with a promo, and like the crowd just eating away, eating at their words, every word, and like people were chanting Triple H's name. I don't really hear that very often, people chanting Triple H's name. I think after all this time, they finally started to chant his name. But anyway, um, but yeah, all this stuff happened. And it's like I said, reminiscence, making me remember the good old days when Triple H used to actually wrestle all the time. But anyway, he's getting old. He's getting up there. But then we see Big Show and Daniel Bryan. Big Show can't wrestle at all. I know he got to the point where he really is the big slow now. So not really much happened in the count out. There's always a way for Daniel Bryan to get out. The WWE is being genius in building this Daniel Bryan character because he is just rising and rising and rising. And I can see that if they let him win Elimination Chamber, oh boy, you talk about cementing a person as a great wrestler and really wanting to tell the fans that, hey, we're behind this guy. They let him win the Elimination Chamber. Wow. That would be a great way to put Daniel Bryan really, really over and really show the fans, hey, this guy's awesome. And the mainstream fans, they'd be like, oh my God, Daniel Bryan survived? So if they let him survive, if they get him over by doing that, I mean, who wouldn't want to see WrestleMania if that happens? I mean, it would be, Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, and you'd be like, well, hell, I mean, I would predict Sheamus, but Daniel Bryan to survive with Randy Orton and Great Khali in the Elimination Chamber, and, somehow he was able, to take out Randy Orton and all this stuff, it's like, if Daniel Bryan walks out with the title, you have no, alternative but to think that Daniel Bryan may walk out of WrestleMania with the title. I mean, you don't know. But we all know that Sheamus will probably win the World Championship at WrestleMania. And if he doesn't, it'll be stupid. If he doesn't, he should win the very next pay-per-view after WrestleMania. If they're going to do that bullshit, then it's fine. But it's kind of pointless. They win the Royal Rumble. Let him win the title. Seriously, it's Sheamus. He is over like a mother. I love Sheamus. Anybody that doesn't like Sheamus, you just need to stop watching the internet programs online for like a week, or anybody that has an internet program, just stop talking about it for like a month and just watch TV. Because I mean, I'm kind of still in that mode where I can just like shut off everything and watch TV or watch wrestling and kind of just how would a fan like this? I'm like, I like Sheamus, he's cool, and I mean. And not just because, you can't tell, but I'm a redhead, so I gotta stick with my redhead. I mean, come on, boy, he's awesome, But yeah, I think he's gonna be great, and I think, if he becomes world champion, I think we'll get more behind him, and he's been world champion before, but I missed that whole entire 2 run, so I didn't get to see that. No, sorry, I'm okay. Alright, so, yeah. But we see, that happened to Daniel Bryan. AJ was there, he's come Big Show that he meant to hit her last time because he could have stopped just like he did that night. Last night, yeah, whatever. Anyway, and then I don't know, miss what all happened tonight. I'm not gonna sit there and try and go to I went to WWE.com the last few times. I don't care about the last one. All right, it wasn't that. It was seriously, it was a pretty good Raw, but it's like nothing really to go back and try and watch the matches. They had I know Shane Tango's in the ring and he's talking, talking up John Laurinaitis, saying, "Oh, he's great, he's awesome GM, blah blah blah," and he's like doing pose. They call it the Tebow pose, so I guess that's what it is. He's doing like that, in the middle of the ring, and you hear the ring announcer say, "Per Triple H, CEO of the WWE, you're going to have a match right now." And then Sheamus music hits. And that's what got me. It's like anybody that doesn't like Sheamus, oh my god, when that music hits of Sheamus, it's like, oh, it's like, yes. Sheamus comes down, kicks Otunga's ass. You gotta like Sheamus just for kicking Otunga's ass, seriously. Um, Bro kicks him right out of the blue. Like, that's what's cool about the bro kick. It's like, you'd think it'd be something stupid like a kick, but like, it's just a straight up, like, forward kick. And he hits it out of nowhere, though. It's like he's got speed in his feet or something. But I'm waiting for somebody to get cold cocked one time in the middle of the ring, though. If it's ever happened, comment down below because I want to know if he's ever kicked somebody and actually did hit him in the ring and you actually do about it. Yeah, but yeah, but that happened. There wasn't really memorable matches, so to speak. There was a tag team match with Randy Orton and Great Khali, Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes. This is the worst. Why didn't they just have like a fatal four way? To be honest, that's what they should have did. Fatal four way, had these guys in the ring, and had Cody Rhodes and Wade Barrett work together, try and get Orton. But then got Khali over as a face that way. Have him come in, like throw them both out, and then him and Orton could then have a fight. But no, instead, you see Randy Orton and Great Khali trading chops as they tag each other. And Khali is like, you see the look on Khali's face when Orton did that the first time. He's like, I know you just did not do that because when I come to tag it a second ago, you're gonna wish you didn't. And uh, then he comes back and he, goes to tag it Orton. And he slaps him really hard on the chest, and Orton's like, ah. I just saw it like, dude, if this is in real life, or Holly hit him in the chest, he'd be friggin' on the ground somewhere. And I'm not against a Great Khali face turn. I think it would be pretty entertaining. We've seen hints of it, and they didn't do it. So it kind of surprised me that they didn't do it all the way when he was doing like funny stuff on SmackDown, and they teased at it, but they didn't do it. So I wonder if they did that back then to kind of maybe hint future things, but he came with Randy Orton. So I don't know. I'm thinking we're gonna get a face turn in Great Khali sometime this year. I wouldn't be against that. I think it'd be entertaining to see where we can go with this. But you gotta give him an announcer. You gotta don't let him talk at the microphone, dude. I love what? Like Chewbacca wrestling. You can't tell what the hell he's saying. Just give him a person to be with or something. Bring up an announcer from or give him Vicky Guerrero. There you go. Dude, that'd be awesome. Vicky Guerrero, Great Khali. But then you gotta turn Vicky face, so no, you can't do that. Gotta give him a face manager. They're gonna do that. Bring back Jimmy Hart. Yeah. All right. Yeah, basically, wasn't really much to talk about. Okay. So Triple H at the beginning of the program, he was talking about Undertaker, blah blah. And about he basically felt sorry for him because he Undertaker couldn't walk out of last year's WrestleMania, which I completely missed that. I had to go back and watch. This year was kind of like my rejuvenation of my wrestling mind coming back because I miss like not having cable kind of kills, not having internet kind of kills what you're able to watch and what you're able to find out about wrestling. Um, uh, so the last couple of years I kind of been out, so I haven't really known. But he couldn't walk out of WrestleMania last year, and Triple H felt bad because he figured, well, I'm going to kill the Undertaker if I do it again. So he was saying, that he didn't want to do it. He wanted to respect the Undertaker. He showed a awesome highlight reel. It wasn't very long though. It could have been a little bit longer. You gave us like a freaking 8-minute promo for freaking John Cena. You could have given us a little bit longer one of this. It basically showed like the highlights of Undertaker's career, everything. Saying how badass he was. Showed some badass segments of the Undertaker. And then so she goes back to Triple H and that's what I want to remember. And then they shoot. Then all of a sudden, the Triple H says no, he's not going to wrestle in WrestleMania 28. This promo pops up. Wood Chase Show 2 times in a night. And yes, I did fast forward through the second one. It was good, but not good enough to rewatch again later on in the show. All right, but it's an awesome promo. I love the promo. Shows him in the room. He's like, I didn't look. Basically, he was saying he didn't look strong enough last year at WrestleMania, and that he didn't want to go out looking like that. He didn't want to. That's not how he wants the fans to remember him. He wants to beat Triple H and be solid in it. He wants to walk out, beat Triple H like that. And this is where everybody's talking like Triple H is gonna be, and I hope to God they don't do it. I don't think they will, because why would you, with a guy like that, why would you do that? Out of the utmost respect, out of somebody who has been there since Hogan, and Savage, and all these guys, he's been there since then. This guy's been there forever. I mean, this guy's been there since WrestleMania 7. He has been there through 21 WrestleManias. 22, technically. If he wrestles at this WrestleMania, it'll be 22 WrestleManias. They gotta give respect to that. They can't let his streak end by letting Triple H beat him. They can't do it. If it was gonna be anything at all, they would have him win by Undertaker just walking out. Seriously, if they want to have him win and not really, have anything to talk about, if they want to continue this feud, have Undertaker walk out right when he's going to get beat, just have him walk out the fucking ring. That would be awesome. And the next year have another match, But people have said there hasn't been too many matches that have got people going, and this match has got people going for it's the third match, and it looks like it's still going to be good. Like I said, anytime you think that a product, like something, they're doing it again, but if you look back, it's like Rock Austin, they did them, every 3 years. But I mean, they probably could have did it every year, and we would have ate it up. And it was still kind of the internet era at that time. We still kind of, but we enjoyed those characters. We love those characters, and people love the Undertaker. But it's like Triple H is the kind of shady part. Everybody's kind of unsure, they respect Triple H, but they don't, fully like Triple H, truly as a superstar. Internet fans, because he's always out there. He's basically kind of like I don't want to compare him, but he's more like a Hulk Hogan. Really, he's always there. You always see him on TV, and you're like, God damn, get off the fucking TV. And John Cena's the same way. That's why both of those guys, when you get them in the ring, it's like everybody hates both of them. They're like, but who knows? But I really don't think that they're gonna bury the Undertaker streak with Triple H. If they're gonna do it, which I don't think they will, I think he'll go out 20-0. He'll win this year and probably announce his retirement. Probably in the middle of the year or after WrestleMania. I can see him coming out and saying, I beat Triple H. That's what I wanted to do. Blah blah blah. I wanted to go out on a high note, and then whatever. Or I can possibly see him wrestling a little bit past WrestleMania and maybe having his last match, not at WrestleMania. But I can see, if he doesn't win this year, then he'll come out next year and want to have a match at WrestleMania, and basically, I don't know if he would go. 20-0 sounds pretty cool, I went 20-0 WrestleMania. So you think about it, if he goes to WrestleMania this year, something will happen. I think something will happen. He may not have his last match at Mania, but I really do think that he'll go out as 20-0, just sound cool, be a good gimmick thing to go on. For people to say, Undertaker's 20-0, blah blah blah, and but yeah, I think he will. So basically, 6-pack challenge at the end of the night, Raw. I'm skipping to the good parts. Chris Jericho ended up winning it because CM Punk did a GTS on Ziggler. Why does Ziggler always get screwed in these matches? That's what I want to say. Why couldn't they screw Kofi or something? I mean, Miz. Yeah. But Dolph gets GTS'd and Jericho takes him out and tossed him over the ring. It was the coolest spot I've seen in a while. I won't admit that. Jericho taking him out and throwing him across the announce table and then shoving the top of the announce table. I think he was trying to do something better than that. But yeah, anyway. He jumps in the ring, pins Ziggler, and steals the victory from CM Punk, which is pretty cool. In Chris Jericho fashion, he wins the match and will become the sixth man to come out in Elimination Chamber. And a lot of people already call this Jericho versus Punk for WrestleMania, but yeah, it'll probably happen. I kind of would be cool if Sheamus is going to be in there, to make it a three-way. It might be interesting to see who Daniel Bryan's going to face at WrestleMania. That's what, I think to make Daniel Bryan interesting, we're probably going to have Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. That's the only thing to make that match. How are you going to make that match more interesting? I mean, seriously. The only thing that I can see if they made that match, try to make a match more interesting, is put Randy Orton in the main event. That's the only thing. But I mean, I really do think that if they're going to do anything with I honestly think that they should make the SmackDown World Championship, as shitty as what has been 2011, make it like a four-way dance, just to have them try and screw Bryan out of the world title. That's what I think they should do. And have Randy Orton be in there, and have the Big Show be in there, and have Mark Henry be in there, and just go at it. And then Sheamus, he'll, cash in this thing, and he'll go after Raw. And then, on the what do you call it? On the draft, how some people get drafted over SmackDown. I can kind of see that this year. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it first. And I don't care about the Kane segment, so I'm done with Raw. They didn't announce anything about the Hall of Fame. Mike Tyson went in the Hall of Fame last week. Kudos to that. I don't have anything wrong with that. Did some great things with the company. I missed the second time he was in there, but by the way. Anyway. But I'm going to call it first in that I think Randy Orton is going to end up on Raw this year. And I think John Cena is going to get pushed to SmackDown. I really hope they push him to SmackDown. Please push John Cena to SmackDown. They really do need a star on SmackDown. They got nobody. They really don't have any. They actually, to be quite honest, SmackDown has bigger stars that you could actually see as world champions than Raw this year. But they need to swap that around. They need to put John Cena over there. That'd be the kid-friendly show. And move all the other people over there that is not kid-friendly. Like somebody like a Cody Rhodes, put him on Raw. Swap the U.S. champion, put Jack Swagger, whoever the U.S. champion at the time, swap him back to SmackDown. Because I think the U.S. title just fit hand in hand with SmackDown, and plus, like I said, it's a kid-friendly show. It's more mainstream crowd. So put the guys who aren't that on Raw. Doesn't make any sense to put a guy like Mark Henry, which he could do a lot more on Raw. If they would differentiate, whatever, the brands, it'd be a lot better. Where if you made SmackDown the kid-friendly John Cena, and then they Raw like, oh, screw you, get the hell out of the ring, damn you, if they made them, that's the show you watch, if you want to see, if you're a fan of the Attitude Era, check that out, because CM Punk's going to be on there, raising hell and all this shit, and then you turn on SmackDown, and they don't say any cuss words, they have great wrestling matches, Ted DiBiase's on there, the Usos, Daniel Bryan's on there, John Cena battling Daniel Bryan continually throughout the year 2012. That should be what it is. That should be what it is. I know I went a long time, but I had a lot to cover, but I'm going to go ahead and end it. Call it first. Randy Orton's going to Monday Night Raw. Sheamus is going to Monday Night Raw this year. Cena hopefully gets the hell off SmackDown. But I'll probably do a little bit of draft predictions video maybe later on. But that's my Wrestling Raw SmackDown review. Thank you for watching, and watch many more videos I'm going to record today. Later.